Hi everyone, I want to show you today how I work a ribbed brim for a couple of the hat patterns that I've made. There are different ways to do this. I know people like to do the single crochet back and forth just in the back loop only, and that's fine. If you've got a way that you like to work your brim, absolutely substitute what I do. This is just, I guess, if you haven't made a textured ribbed brim before and you want to give this a go, then by all means do so. First up, you're going to have to use your imaginations a little bit, because as you can see, this doesn't really, even like a small preemie beanie, is not really the circumference of a beanie. But just for the sake of showing you, and I don't want to waste my yarn, and I'm not making a hat right now, I'm just going to show you. Just assume that through here we've worked the rest of the beanie up to the peak, and now I'm going back to the foundation chain to add a brim on there. Now, one thing is you may want to do a round of single crochet into the bottom of those foundation chain stitches just to make it a bit neater. That is fine. By all means do that. So what I'm going to do is start with making some chain stitches. Now you can make this brim as deep as you want it to be. There's no rules on that, obviously. Just for simplicity's sake, we might do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, say 6 chains. And what I'm now going to do is half double crochet into the 1, 2, 3, 4th stitch. Then to the 5th and into the 6th. So now you can see that we've got to the end of those slip stitches, the chain stitches, that we made previously. So what we want to do then is join this bit of the brim to the main part of the hat. So I'm looking for not the foundation stitch that we made our chains from, but the very next stitch along, which just happens to be, as you can see here, just happens to be this one here. So what I want to do is slip stitch into that particular stitch, like so. Then I'm going to slip stitch one more along into the next stitch, next foundation stitch, like that. Now I'm going to rotate my work. And what I'm now going to do is work some front post stitches to start getting that texture. The benefit of rotating all the time is you don't have to do back post stitches, which of course are fine, but front post stitches are always just that little bit faster. So we don't need to do any chains to stand for a half double crochet stitch. The reason being is we've actually gone 2 chains along the foundation. You can see we've increased the height there. So all that we need to do now is actually work our half double crochet stitches over the half double crochets that we just made before. So 1, and that includes obviously the starting chain that we had as well, 2, 3, and this 2 chain here over that as well, like so. All right. Now, sorry, it's a bit awkward here because I'm trying not to cut this yarn. Yeah, so now what we want to do is rotate it again. I'll just do 1 chain first. Now, you can do 2 chains if you like. I know that some people prefer that. They find it a little bit easier to work the stitches in when they're coming back again on the next row return. But anyway, we'll do 1 chain. Now we're going to half double crochet front post, half double crochet around that very first half double crochet that we just made. Then around each one along back towards the foundation row stitches again. So going back. Obviously you should have the same amount of stitches each time when you go back towards the foundation stitches and away again. You need to be working the same number of stitches to keep your brim the same depth. So I'm just checking, yep, I've made 4 again. Now you can see again where we commenced from was this stitch here. So we don't want to slip stitch into that one. We want to slip stitch into the next stitch along on the foundation chain. So I slip stitch into there, and then so we increase the height for when we return back with our half double crochet stitches. We want to slip stitch yet again. So I've got 2 slip stitches there. Now I'm going to rotate. I don't need to chain when I'm going in this direction, back away from the foundation row. So now I'm just going to half double crochet over the 4 half double crochet stitches from the previous row. So like so, like so. Like so. Now, with this one here, I'm still going around so ignoring that one chain and just going around the half double crochet stitch. If you want, you can actually just stitch over the one chain. The only thing is that sometimes that makes the brim a little bit tighter at the very base. Right, so do my one chain. So when we're at this end, the opposite end to the foundation row, we actually do the one chain. And then I'm going to work my half double crochet over half double crochet from the previous round all the way back, like so, like that. I'll just show you one more. All right, so ignoring this stitch here, slip stitching into the next stitch along, slip stitch into the next stitch as well, and we've made our 2 stitches there to count for the height of a double crochet stitch. And I'm going to, half double crochet stitch, half double crochet on the front post of every stitch along, including the very first stitch we made from the previous row. 1 chain or 2 chain if you prefer, and over the front post of the previous row stitches again. And then slip stitch. Now when you get around and you come to the point where your seams are meeting, you just need to slip stitch along them to join them together, and then you'll end up with another ridge of what looks like just slip stitch like that. So it's pretty simple. You'll know when you get to the point that your seams are touching, and then you can slip stitch up. Make sure though there's not a gap, because then you'll end up pulling your brim tighter than the rest of your hat. If you do desperately want to see what it actually looks like and the technique that I use to slip stitch along, do let me know, but I think it's fairly straightforward, so I think you'll be all right with that. So that's just a bit of a, I guess, a different way to work a ribbed brim. I like it because it's still quite soft, but it does hold your head quite nicely, especially along the base. It's reasonably firm. Yeah, it's just another option in addition to the ones that are out there already. I hope that helps. If you've got any questions about it or you want to see a little bit more, let me know. All right, thanks. Bye.